Hey everyone, Farmer Hanny again today, doing the second video on the same day. So earlier we did the carpenter bee trap, and then now we can look into how to sharpen the blade of your chainsaw. I have this chainsaw. I put this um, box here basically on top of the table just because the chainsaw always leaks oil. Every single chainsaw I've ever had always leaked oil, so just to keep the table a little bit cleaner of oil. So I bought this chainsaw sharpening kit from Amazon. I think I bought it last year, but never got to use it. It's made by Oregon or Oregon, I don't know. And then what it has in it, it has a handle. I guess the manual if you want to read it. It has three sharpening tools, I guess four. This is like a flat one, and then these are round ones. And then I think this is like a guide for to figure out the angle that you're gonna use. And this one, okay, well it says on a depth gauge, and that's like if you wanna, I think. So there's like the teeth where you actually cut with the chainsaw, and then there's like a depth, there's like the guiding pieces, which we'll look at. I'll zoom in on this. But this is what we have. So like I said, I have like three different sizes of the actual sharpening tool. So we have to figure out which one to use, and I'll show you how you can tell. There's, I guess, a scientific and more accurate way, or there's the easy way if you're kind of too lazy. So let me zoom in on the table a little bit so we can see exactly what we're doing. All right, so I have here a Sharpie, and I've already sharpened this earlier today, but I'm just gonna show you how I did it. So the Sharpie, we're gonna use it kind of like a guide on which tooth of the chainsaw we're actually sharpening right now, like where we are in the process, and then which one is the first tooth that we sharpened. So in order to do that is I make a mark here. So basically I'm gonna sharpen whatever tooth I rotate to be on top of this one, right? And then this is gonna be the first tooth I'm gonna sharpen. So I'm gonna kind of put a mark on here, right? So once I move this one, like I sharpen this one, I move it, then the next tooth that comes in on here, it's gonna be the one I'm working on. If I stop to talk to somebody or something, when I come back, I'll know which one I was on because I know that it's on top of this line here. And then once I go through all of these, I'll know which one was the initial one by looking at the marker that I put on this piece. So this is how you're gonna be able to tell. I feel like this is more important. This one here, you'll know because once you sharpen it, you'll be able to see the steel, the silver color, right, versus the black, dirty marking on it. Now, going back to these, knowing which file you need to use. So we have, three different sizes. I know which one I need for mine. One thing you can do is the chainsaw on it on the side always tells you, what size chain it has on it, and then for each chain you can kind of I guess the manual will probably tell you which one is the corresponding one. So like here you can see on it, I'm guessing, I didn't read this manual to be honest, but okay, and then here it kind of tells you. So this one comes with 5 32nds, 3/16, and 7/32. So I'm not gonna read the manual, but So we have these three. I mean, you can tell which one's the biggest. This one's the biggest. Um, we can look at it and see, and you can tell this is pretty big. So I'm not going to use that one. Um, so now we're down to these two here. So in each one, it tells you size on it. It tells you 5/32 or 4 millimeters. And then this one, it tells you 4.8 millimeters or 3/15. So obviously 5/32, that's the smallest. So we can look at the bigger one, and then you can kind of tell that it's still pretty big. Like once you put it on the tooth, it doesn't sit in properly, and you can see like there's a gap. So in my case, it's gonna be the smallest file, which is in my case 5/32. And then looking at the chainsaw, you have the teeth. You actually have like one tooth this way, then another one this way. So we're gonna file initially all the ones that are angled this way, and then as we're done with this, we'll flip and then go to the other side, and then so this one will be filed like this, again at a, I guess, 30-degree angle, and then the ones that are going the opposite side, they'll be filed this way. And then the first thing you need to do is you kind of need to loosen the chain on your chainsaw. So you pull this lever back, and then once you do that, you can actually freely move your chainsaw. So the way you do it is, I guess you can get the handle if you want to. The handle's a pain because it keeps the file keeps coming out of it. And then you can use this guide if you want. I don't use it, but you can use the guide. You kind of put this on top, something like this, and then you kind of snap it back in place. And then what this is going to tell you is like, okay, it's going to show you the angle that you need to go on. Again, I didn't read the manual. I didn't, but so you can kind of see this is the lines match up here. So, and it tells you this is 30-degree angle. But I mean, I don't know. You don't need this. You can kind of see what you're doing and then do it visually, I guess. But the way it works is, so we're starting with this point here, and then you want to file in the forward motion. As you're going forward, you kind of apply a little bit of pressure towards the tooth itself. And then on the way back, you kind of ease up. So you go, and then whenever you start filing this tooth, you can kind of feel a little bit of resistance. And then once it kind of starts being a smooth filing on the forward motion, that means it's sharpened. And then you kind of pull up. So this is going in the back direction. So we'll do it from the other sides once we get to it. And then now this one. Then you put it in, file, and then now you can see like it's actually clean here versus like when you start off, it'll have like the black color if you've used this before. But do it, I don't know, 4 or 5 times, and then you'll be able to feel that it's not like catching, or it's basically filing easily. And then you move to the next one. And then the angle, I mean, this one told you 30-degree, but you can kind of, I mean, you don't need that guide. You can kind of feel the way it sits in the tooth and then follow that angle. So, I don't know. You don't need all these complicated things. You just kind of get a feel to it. And then once you do it a few times, this is other way. So it's like every other one, you file from this direction. And then you keep going until you either get to the one that has a mark on it here, or once you get to one, like this one I had already sharpened, right? But you can tell like this one is clean, so that means it's already been sharpened. And then what you'll do is you just go to, either you flip your chainsaw like this, and then you do it from this side, or you just go to the other side and then kind of do those, in this motion. This is really it. There's not much to it. So each each tooth you want to hit it. I mean, you'll get a feel of it, but for it, but I would say like maybe 4 or 5 forward motions, and then you'll be able to tell that you know it's not filing as much. Uh, this is really it. I hope this was helpful. If you have any questions, please post them in the comments.